Aquarius, welcome. It's Erin Scott here, and I'm back this month to do a bit of a channeling for the this particular cycle, which is actually your cycle, meaning the Aquarius new moon between the middle of February to the middle of March. So we're going with nature's cycle, and we're tapping into the egoic, natural evolutionary arc of story. What is growing you over the course of this natural evolutionary arc for Aquarius? So, and of course this was met, as you know, with a partial solar eclipse. Highly aspected, very dynamic, powerful. So, I don't plan these in advance. We just tap in to see in the moment what wants to come. One thing I did do is I went to the art store and I picked up a couple additional colors for my pencils. The other thing that I'll share is that there's definitely going to be other types of artwork that's going to start coming through for these monthlies. Not just pencils and charcoal. Okay. Aquarius. And essentially, what I do is I just, usually there's like a picture. So there'll either be a motion with my hand that comes or a picture, and then I just follow it. And then once something lands on the paper, then it governs what comes next. You are each channels for art, for movement, for words, for everything. So, I don't know, let's take a look and see. And I'm going to be quiet for a bit. I invite you to go get some tea or coffee or a glass of wine while I tap in here. And then we'll talk about it after. It's interesting to see what colors too are kind of coming in. Being a highlight color for the signs. Aquarius, you can see that I have my crystals out this month too. That was really called to come this month, and it'll, I don't know, it probably will be typical. I guess we'll see. But the selenite crystal ball is here along with other beauties. So this is like a satchel. That's what's wanting to come here. These are like the straps down here. But this is like a bag. And these are coming out, these spheres, these bubbles, these dreams, these ideas, something. Here's my green. It's hard to see the green because of the dark charcoal, but this is kind of a sage green. You can see it here. Something's being highlighted for you. Something's coming out. So over the course of the cycle, Aquarius, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these spheres, balls, marbles, ideas, projects, you know? But one of them is spotlighted, highlighted, circled for you. There's almost like something that's coming out, and it's the last one. These all came out first. This one's the last one in the bag. But something's coming out over the course of this cycle. It could be that something was hidden. Spheres of knowledge. You know, it could have been that things within you, within your bag, within your soul, down at the bottom, things are arising, things are coming out. And by the way, it's appropriate because with the south node located where it was to designate this partial solar eclipse, indeed the south node is aligning us all as it goes through Aquarius. So for the collective, we are remembering our deep soul narrative, future selves, past selves. There's no time in the space field, in the source field. There's no time. So we're definitely all remembering aspects of self. You know, we're remembering skill sets, masteries, also traumas and previous wounds, patterns of the human story that's specific to us. And it's very appropriate that, you know, we'll see what else wants to come here, but that indeed for you, specifically, for the egoic evolutionary narrative for Aquarius, at this particular Aquarian new moon cycle with eclipse, indeed, something's coming out. You're remembering. It's beautiful. We're all remembering, but there's something here that I have to tell you, out of all the readings, you're the one that's getting this one. So that's appropriate. So Aquarius, you could just give me a little bit here. Let me tap in. I think what's happening here, Aquarius, is that there's some brightness that you're remembering. It's interesting because I will tell you that it's happening for a lot of the signs this month. That this new cycle, which by the way is accompanying the Chinese New Year of the Earth Dog, which we are now into. So this new cycle of the month, of the next 6 months, of the next year, and of the next 18, 19-year cycle is coinciding with the Chinese New Year of the Earth Dog. Completely new cycles emerging. New energy, new birth, especially layered on all of the learnings and cosmological aspects that have been exponential in intensity for the last several years. We're being pushed, we're up-leveling, the frequency is up-leveling. But the thing about this for you is that all the stuff coming out in the bag, these are remaining, let's say, dark. You know, there could have been some darker patterns, some traumatic patterns, some past history that is a pattern within the soul structure that you're realizing. But one of them here, out of these 6, at least one of them, certainly this one's getting highlighted, has brightness, has mastery, has skill set. There's something that you're remembering that is bringing lightness and joy, that's able to emanate out, that's able to essentially create the field, let's say, of positivity, of optimism, of reality, that is aiding with these other trauma patterns coming forward. So there's both and coming forward for you, Aquarius. That's my phone, the noise that just went off there. So this is not well drawn, well rendered, but what wanted to come through here was almost like a Native American pattern on this bag. And by the way, for any of you watching, for all of you watching, please listen to your own, attend to your own intuitive hits with these renderings that are coming through, because you have your own specific soul story that has recognitions. So honor those, you know, take those. But for me, what this is talking about, or what this wants to become, again, it's not, I wouldn't call this a well-articulated pattern or design, but almost like a Native American design on top of the bag. And there's these arrows here. It's almost like past and future. And by the way, which is very Aquarius, right? It's about the future human. It's about humanity. It's about the collective good. It's about the innovative next. So everybody, this is the deal. There's some Native American indigenous wisdom that I think is helping you see brighter. It's bringing some skill set. And I have to say, for some of you, this is going to be indigenous healing, almost like the shaman. Not necessarily. This could easily be indigenous wisdom that's connecting you to natural wisdom, to natural law, the organizing principles of nature, which, by the way, I teach. And I invite you to go to my website, thealchemyofholism.com, and look at the holosynthesis work that I do. I am going to be updating that information to be, you know, to be better understood. But for now, you can go check it out. Here, though, I have to tell you, this to me is future and past. It's linked. It's indigenous. There's a deep wisdom of the holistic human, emotionally. The holistic human sees in 4 ways. Modern human has created the analytic thinking, that quadrant of human assessment of life, as the only way by which to assess life. It's ridiculous. It's a myth. It's highly reductionist. It's insane, right? Because it cuts off intuitive knowing, emotional knowing, sensory knowing. Indigenous wisdom is inherently holistic. There's something here, sweet Aquarians. You're connecting with your indigenous self. Whether it be the shaman, whether it be the medicine woman, whether it be the elder, or whether it just be the holistic human, the original human that understood that they were part of the web of life and not the dominator on top of it. There's something that you're getting during this cycle. And it is going to feed you, right, for the year ahead, for the next 19-year cycle, etc. So let me pull a card for you. This is from the Carolyn Mace Archetype cards. I used to pull these for the alchemy scopes when I was doing them more readily. And I am going to see what is the growth edge, the prime growth edge for you over the course of this cycle. So I don't want to take the top one, and there's a reason for that. Just trust me on it. Certain cards, I do like a gravity pull, and certain cards, and it's doing it again. It's interesting. We're going to just take the next one. Let's see what wants to come here. It's coming. Queen. Look at that. I'm actually, Aquarius, for you, I'm actually going to pull a second card. Rebel. I love this. First of all, Queen is the royal feminine emerging. So let's look at this, okay? So Queen, this and Rebel both want to come forward for you. Queen, the shadow attributes, becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. So this is what wants to be transmutated out of. What wants to be moved into and evolved into is radiating the regal feminine, using her benevolent authority to protect others. Certainly the holistic human has that capability. It comes naturally, it flows naturally. The regal aspect, the up-leveled aspect of the self, the higher iteration of the self. So this is about the regal feminine, which is certainly rising, right? So that's one, rebel. Wanting to move out of rejecting legitimate authority out of anger and rebelling out of peer pressure or for fashion. And what wants to be moved into, evolved into, matured into is challenging authority to effect social change, rejecting spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. This is about the regal feminine, the divine feminine emerging. This is about becoming the true authentic rebel, pushing against that which is simply not aligned. Beautiful. And it could be very well, Aquarius, that that's what this is. That there's something here. Because indigenous wisdom was not, it wasn't about the patriarchy. It wasn't driven. In fact, it was more the matriarchy. But the new humanity is about the balance in between the two. But what I want to say is this could easily be talking about the medicine woman rising, right? Which is completely appropriate for our now. So I hope that brings you some information for your month ahead. If you are interested in learning about my work, you can go to thealchemyofholism.com. And until next month, I send you much love and support for your growth, your ease, your wholeness. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.